to have something, I'll say it like this. Being introduced to Simpleology is something that changed the way that I live. It's changed the way that I think on a daily basis.
Hi, my name is Leia, and I've just finished my Simpleology white belt training.
It is from now on my main tool that I will use each and every day to really get the results I want, and it's working incredibly good for me.
Highly recommended. This is super comprehensive guide productivity using Simpleology.
It's long overdue.
But I have to keep coming back to it. It's fun to use and keeps me motivated, and I have little things printed and put around my house from the training. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Hello. I was using Simpleology for some times now, more than 1 month, and I'm so pleased with the way it helped me to be productive, focused, and gain momentum in my work.
You're an entrepreneur, anybody really, and you want to simplify your life, and you want to get more out of yourself, but with less stress.
Hey everyone, Simpleology and weight belt training has been really great for me. I happen to be starting my own podcast and new brand, and I also have a full-time job which is very demanding during the week, and at times that full-time job also spills over into the weekend. So I also have a lot of ideas. I'm also trying to improve and self-learn and study and see how I can, have personal growth, especially for my new business.
I said that I was just looking for an accountability partner, but the use of this tool made it no longer necessary for me, because it works like an accountability partner. And I'm so happy that I discovered this piece of software.
And Simpleology and white belt training just shows me how all over the place I've been prior to this software, and it's really making me organize my tasks, what's just for later, what's for today, and prioritizing. So it's really been great. I highly recommend.
And I strongly recommend it to all of you who are interested in productivity, in gaining insights, in being focused and getting results. Thank you.
Hello, I've been using Simpleology for quite some time, but have not really paid attention to doing my training. And now I've completed the training, I think I have a good view of what it can do for me. And my activities have been better organized. And I believe I'll be able to get more out of Simpleology if I can proceed to other training. Thank you.
All you have to do is start. And even the progress with which you progress through the belt and learn the different skills to align your life so that you're getting the most out of yourself is so organic, so natural. There's a human on earth that won't. Let's just say it like this. You will gain more time than you ever believed by following the simple steps, right? Just logging in once a day and going through the training and just doing that. Takes you 3 minutes, right? Changes everything.
I'm really loving Simpleology
can't even go into how much Simpleology will change your life.
Hi, I'm campaign founder and trainer for Small.com. Just wanted to give you a quick heads up on the whiteboard training. It's been absolutely fantastic in regards to the way that it's really made me make it a habit.
But above that, as you progress and you start to learn some of the new concepts and the new perspectives with which you should look at the things that you put on your plate, it changes the way you think. It changes the way you look at the world. The value of that is priceless.
Hi, my name is Kimmy, and I'm a proud Simpleology black belt.
Is altering productivity in a very positive way, in what I barely began using.
Hi, my name is Gordon Wong, and I just wanted to include some thoughts about Simpleology.
We're really excited to this next year to just really showcase how much the software sharpens my daily activities.
And it's just a habit of turning up every day, going through each of the sessions, each of the topics that it's getting me to do. My productivity is increased already. It's only been 20 days, but I'm already hitting the farm all done, so I'm starting to realise the power of this tool. So I'm looking forward to the next belt.
There's just so much, man. I mean, in terms of team management, if you're using anything else, like there's all sorts of project management software out there. In my business, we've tried many, and it's almost like too much. I don't know how to say it. The project management component of Simpleology blows everything else away.
Simpleology is an incredibly powerful system that not only walks you through the process how to obtain whatever it is you desire, but clearly shows precisely where and how you fall short of the mark.
I am so grateful to Simpleology, a system that's truly changed my life.
It's really cool to be able to have a place to capture all those little, I should do this type of thoughts during the day, and then be able to put them out there into the dream catcher and just move on with my day.
And so to have this world that's incredibly intuitive and simple, you just log in and do the training for the day, and it makes you more productive. And then to have these different components that allow you to work in tandem with other people in a way that's just so much better than anything else I've ever seen out there.
I use it every day without fail, and I just feel weird if I don't use it. It throws me off. So I start every day with start my day.
I'm utterly grateful for this opportunity to receive this distilled wisdom encoded through Simpleology, and I look forward to mastering the system.
Not only has the Simpleology system really increased my productivity and decreased my stress level,
And also to just having a list of items that are include the things that I really need to do to move toward my goals. This really helps me to focus a lot, and just to get those things taken care of, and know that I'm making great progress toward my goals. So all in all, I've enjoyed this first 3 weeks of training in Simpleology.
Oh, it's one of those things where you're speechless. I mean, it'll change. If you want to get more out of yourself, then you owe it to yourself to get a trial account for Simpleology. Just commit for you, just like I did, have the patience to start your day with your day trading. You just do it once a day. And take it a day at a time to watch. Just watch what happens. You are not the same believer that I am right now. I will give you a reason.
But beyond that, I really feel like it created space in my brain by putting the triggers in place so I can be more creative, dream bigger, keep the big picture in mind, and really just never forget anything that I want to do, small or big, so that I can truly design my dream life.
You made the world better. And all people have to do is open their eyes and just look. Just look, just see, right? And give themselves a chance.
I have been using Simpleology for years. I absolutely love it. I share it with everyone I know. It makes all the difference when I'm using it on a regular basis.
I can't express the profound impact that on you. I just am very grateful. So thank you so much.
So thank you, Simpleology. I'm forever grateful. Aloha.
Aloha. Hey, everybody. How you doing? It's Mark Joyner and Ryan Healy. Ryan, I got to ask you a question, man. Is Simpleology a cult?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Well, we kind of are. We kind of are a little bit, right? So, you know, by the way, I don't even want to talk about this today, man. Like I just got back from the beach.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so chill.
Yeah.
And
Heavy topic.
we just changed the topic. I think everybody's tuning in to hear about how cults brainwash people, so we better talk about that. I don't want to disappoint people. At least not deliberately, right? So sometimes you can't help it. So here's a way to.
I don't know what material you brought, but I brought some material as well. I thought,
oh, bro, awesome. I got some material too. I have some slides, so we're going to get into some. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what we both bring into it. So you might have some stories to kind of pre-frame this. I know my favorite one is, so when I wrote Mind Control Marketing, I thought I loved the title. I loved the idea. It's like, wow, this is stuff I really want to talk about because I feel like it's important for people to know. But there was a point where I had an experience that gave me, is there like an antonym for epiphany? Like
the opposite of an epiphany?
Yeah, like if you have a realization where it's like, oh, holy crap, maybe that's an epiphany too, but if it's like I've been doing something wrong and I gotta go back and re-examine my life. What would you call that?
That's an epiphany.
It is kind of, I guess, an epiphany. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was gonna make up a bullshit word, but I guess we don't need one. So all right. So I had an epiphany. Well, yeah, I suppose it works, right?
I mean, I think that word was maybe made up by James Joyce. Anyway.
Oh, no shit. Okay. So he and Shakespeare both made up a lot of words. Shakespeare probably has more in the common English lexicon, I would imagine, than Joyce, but no kidding.
He said, it said James Joyce did not invent the word epiphany, which originally meant a religious revelation or showing of Christ. However, he did repurpose it into a literary term. He defined it as a sudden, illuminating spiritual manifestation hidden inside a trivial, everyday object, gesture, or scrap of speech. So that's where I was getting it confused. So I guess he kind of reframed the word epiphany.
This is how language evolves, right?
Yeah.
Like, now kids say things like "no cap," right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what? What is that? When they say that, I think what they mean is like it's true, right? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
now
no
they
cap.
also say stuff like, oh man, he just glazed you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which is like, I guess, flattery.
It is, but now I don't know if we want to unpack the etymology of glazing.
I know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not. We'll just leave that to everybody's imagination. So All right. So back to my epiphany story, right? So I was doing this seminar with Gary Halbert, which was a great experience. I had so much affection for that guy, and it was a very, very interesting thing. And so in the middle of the 3-day event, I'm at the breakfast buffet, and so a rather corpulent young man, rather rotund, a little larger perhaps than he should be for his health. Not that I want to shame him for that. I just think maybe it's not so healthy. But anyway, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Mark, man, I wanted to say thank you for the book Mind Control Marketing, because it helped me. By the way, you know what? The branding is covering up your name. That is not cool. I got to find a new Simpleology brand logo. Let's see. I'm in StreamYard here. I got to figure out. Let's see. Can I turn that off? Yeah, there we go. Anyway, maybe there's another one. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's another one. Boom. There you go. Perfect. Much better. Yeah. So he was like, dude, that book helped me make so much money. And I was like, that's awesome, man. Great to hear that. And I said, what product are you selling? And he said, weight loss patches. You know, and I looked him up and down and I was like, do they work? You know, and he said, no, man, that stuff's total garbage. And he thought it was hilarious. And I suddenly had this epiphany where I was like, well, that's not what I want to do in this world. I don't want to help somebody lying to folks be a better liar. So I let the book go out of print, right? I was like, all right, I'm just going to pull it off the market.
Yeah.
And so subsequently, the book ended up getting sold for like $2,000 a used copy at the peak on Amazon. Yeah, which is kind of crazy, right? And but you know, I did a lot of deep thinking about that, and the conclusion I came to was that we are all persuading each other all the time, whether we are conscious of it or not. And it's probably good to learn persuasion, because you're not just using persuasion out there to sell crap. You're also using persuasion on people that you love to do things that you think, you know, might be in their best interest. Especially if you're a parent, you can speak more directly about this than I can. But there are all sorts of really, really positive uses of persuasion. I was persuaded in some ways that I thought were very, very good and wholesome for me, courtesy of the U.S. Army when I was in. I'm very grateful for a lot of the persuasion I got in there, because I needed some persuading. Yeah. So I thought, okay, you can use it for good, and also you can inoculate yourself from the evil persuasion that's out there, you know, because there's a lot of that going on. What do you think? Do you see this kind of the same way?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's useful to know how to persuade people, and it's also useful to know how persuasion works, so you can recognize when it's being done to you. However, I'll say, as a marketing person, copywriter, somebody who does that, sometimes we're easy to sell because we get caught up when somebody's delivering a great sales pitch. You're like, man, got to respect it. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's total flim flam bullshit, I'm like, you know, you got to respect the skills there, right? I mean, the great dictators of history were some of the best marketers, if not the best. I mean, yeah.
Selling the vision.
Selling the vision.
I would call them well, I'm thinking of, I won't say, but I'm thinking of they're manipulators more than anything. Manipulators of public opinion.
Yeah. So it's interesting, right? So I think that the toolkits are all very similar, but there are some lines that I would not cross that would go into what I would call manipulation or mind control or cult stuff. So, well, I'm going to say, I think Simpleology is kind of a cult. Like, we're kind of open about it. Like, we tell people right in the onboarding, it's like, hey, we're going to persuade your mind so that you can be more effective, right? So that you can get more of the things that you want.
Right.
And so for the people who are in our Simpleology cult, our tribe, they will probably notice some of these things. And we haven't really been shy about that. We unpack it all the time, especially for the business class guys going, hey, here's exactly what we're doing to you. Hopefully we're doing something to you that you want, right? Like, yeah, I want to have higher self-esteem. I want to spend less time working and get more results rather than grind myself to a nub and cry myself to sleep at night, as most business owners do. So let's see. So I know you've got some stuff. I got some interesting slides. You want to start, or you want me to? Maybe we can go one and one.
No, you go ahead. Present the slides. And I would also say about Simpleology, it may have like a couple of markers of a cult, right? But possessing a couple of markers or a couple of traits of a cult does not mean it is a cult. A cult usually has to meet multiple criteria, right? And once I don't know what that threshold is, it's probably subjective. But if they meet a certain number of markers that define a cult, then you can be pretty confident you're in an actual cult, right?
Yeah. Well, let me start with a slide where it's something we're actually doing, but there are a couple of things in there that are some key distinctions, right? Like here's some clear lines that I just would not cross.
Yeah.
So let me see if what the best view is. Guys, by the way, tell us if you like, is it better like this or like this? Maybe like this. By the way, guys, which side is more handsome? Is it this side or is it this side? I'm trying to figure out my setup, because I don't want to keep looking right at the camera. That feels a little, I don't know. We're sorting this out, guys. We're not professional podcasters. We're just two guys running a humble cult.
This is my good side.
There you go. Awesome.
This is my less good side. The hair grows forward over here.
Oh, you've done this work. I haven't done this work yet.
Hey, when you got weird hair like me, it's easy to figure out.
Me too. Yeah. So, all right. We'll let people comment what they think. So, all right. So love bombing, overwhelmed with affection. So we on purpose, if you go inside the Simpleology community, we have it set up there. So you can only do two things. You can share a win, and you can applaud or give praise for other people's wins. And if you do anything that's not that, we'll delete it. Like, we won't even allow it to get through, because we want it to be all like positive vibes, positive reinforcement for your wins. Because I think, look, if you want to, argue about stuff and yell at people because they're wrong and they don't fit your vision of the way people should be, and you want to get up all on their face about that, you got the whole internet to do that, right? Like I want our place to kind of be love bombing, but here's what we don't do. The cults do the next step, which is then they withdraw the love, right? They overwhelm you, and then it's like, whoop, that felt good, right? You didn't get this from wherever you were supposed to be getting it, and now we're taking it away, and now you feel that heartbreak again. So you develop this emotional dependency on the cult.
Yeah.
I think that's go.
Yeah. Usually that withdrawal too is contingent on being obedient to something, and then the love comes back, right? So it's conditional. So they got to do something. They broke a rule, whatever, and then they fix it. And if you're willing to comply, then okay, now you can have the affection back.
Yeah. Disagree with our dogma. Question the sanctity of our great leader, and no love for you. Yeah. So I think that's a pretty good distinction, right? I would never want to be involved in something like that. Like it's a pretty clear line between persuasion and manipulation, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree.
So next one I have here, isolation, right? So they control information. They cut you off from the outside world, and then they create total dependency. Kind of sounds like what some people in government want to do
Or did.
during a not to be named era of history that rhymes with COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm right in the line, man. We're gonna get banned on YouTube at some point. I know. I'm gonna try not to do that. But YouTube, we love you. Okay, we love the platform. We want to stay on. If we break any of the rules of your cult, we apologize in advance. Please tell us how to correct yourself, so you don't withdraw the love of the audience that we built up. So in control, you know what? We kind of have controlled information happening now, don't we? Like we have these content bubbles.
Well, it's like Wikipedia, right? There's a tight control on Wikipedia. It's pretty bad. Used to be better, but somehow it got taken over by people of a certain political persuasion, and now I'm sure some things are accurate if they're not political or not controversial in any way, but a lot of stuff is pretty bad.
What's the guy's name? The one of the original co-founders. Was it Larry Singer? What do you know? Do you remember this guy?
I remember Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Wales, and then Larry was the less known one. But Larry was pushed out, and he's now very vocal. He says that Wikipedia now is like the biggest mind control cult in the world.
Yeah.
And he's very angry. He's like, hey, this is not what we wanted, because what Wikipedia presents itself to be is this is democratized information and everybody can contribute, right?
Yeah, no, not that way.
No, it's not. And so behind the scenes, there are these monitors. And by the way, intelligence agencies of specific countries, I won't name, have been deeply involved in this one. And this is not even a conspiracy theory. This is look upable. They have certain topics where those moderators they've kind of got it on lock. So if you want to get in and make an edit in Wikipedia, it ain't going to get through, because those controllers behind the scenes, not all controllers are equal. All controllers are equal, but some are more equal than others, to compare that to Animal Farm.
Right. Yeah, they can undo edits very, very quickly. And if they find that you're editing a page in a way that they don't like, they can just ban your IP, block your IP, ban your username, whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And I think a lot of that is going on now in AI. There are guardrails in AI. There are certain historical events, for example, that are controversial. At least some people say they're controversial. Some people like to create the impression that, no, there is only one dogmatic truth. And if you dare say any other version or question it in the slightest, we're going to, label you with some terms that will get you ostracized from society. That kind of happens. Yeah, it's interesting. So we're kind, by the way, before I show the next one, in the book 1984, Winston Smith, the character, he worked in, I guess, the Ministry of Truth, and they called it, and he was actually burning previous versions of newspapers, and then he was, editing them, creating the new version, and then he would dump into a real fire the old version. So people were like, oh, that reality that we told you yesterday is no longer true. So today this is the one, and you have to pretend like this was always so.
Right. It was always the right one. Yeah.
Pretty nasty gaslighting. And it kind of happening right now a little bit. All right. I want to show one more, and I'm very curious about you, Hab. And then I have a few other ones that are kind of darker that maybe we'll get into after your bit, but let me show one more here. So, thought control, right? Obey, conform, doubt, loaded language, right? Loaded language is one very powerful one. You're a COVID denier, an anti-vaxxer, kind of, they're labels. Some of these labels are really nasty. Us versus them.
Also, some of the slogans, you know, TSA, if you see something, say something. Right?
Yeah.
I think I did a post on that on Facebook a while back, asked for other slogans people had noticed the government using. That was interesting.
Dude, I think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there, right? I mean, some of it is so powerful. I remember another thing in 1984, there was a scene in there where Winston Smith goes to fix the sink of his neighbor, and the little child there who was like, you know, wearing the party uniform and is fully indoctrinated looks at Winston Smith and says, "You're a thought criminal." And that's what they called him. You know, you're There was a little bit of that going on. I remember, you know, they were saying things like, "This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated," and then the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Isn't that interesting? Right. And I mean, I think that's probably not necessarily true based on some of the new information coming out. And let's debate that. If somebody hears that and is angry, I would invite them to question where that emotional charge is coming from and say, okay, is that fully rooted in fact?
Yeah.
And they were saying things like, I remember Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo were on CNN and say, you know what, it's time we start shunning the anti-vaxxers. It's time we start, we don't allow them to be part of polite society. I thought that was, when I heard that, it kind of chilled my bones a little bit. I thought, wow, I'm kind of fucked. Because I'm not willing to, I'm not gonna bow to you, man. Like I would literally rather hang than bow. I mean, I say that, who knows what would happen in the moment, you know, if I had to face that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm kind of not down with the bowing.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I told my wife if they showed up at the door with needles, I would go down fighting.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Me too. I think I would too. All right, I want to take this one down, and I know you got some stuff, and then I got a few more that get into some precision of the language, like little linguistic tricks and some gaslighty things that they do. What do you got, man? I'm super curious.
First, I want to read Allison Hill left a couple comments. She says, when I worked as a TV investigative journalist, I went undercover with an alleged cult for 5 weeks and filmed with a hidden camera. But that's
rad. I love it.
And she followed that up with, what I noticed most while undercover in the alleged cult was the guilt pushing. It was heavy. They also filled your time with activities such as services, lunch with my discipler, the minister's wife, street evangelizing, and meetings almost every day. I didn't get a day off in 5 weeks. The group tried to sue me for filming in private homes. How about that? That's intense.
It is intense. Like, so by the way, Allison is our resident mainstream journalist who has turned into a citizen journalist who wants to train people to be citizen journalists, which I fully support. I think is an awesome idea. I hope Allison is super successful in that. I don't know. I don't know if I would go into somebody's home and like Borat. Like that's Borat probably crossed some lines there that are not cool. And
Well, sometimes it's necessary though. Now Borat was not doing it in good faith, right? He was doing it for comedic purposes. But there was a show on Netflix that comedic purposes. There was a show I watched on Netflix where this woman who was a former FLDS member, FLDS is Fundamental Latter-day Saint, so sect of Mormonism that believes the original teachings of Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, including plural marriage. So anyway,
he
came out of that and then she ended up befriending these FLDS people and like did stuff with them for I think 2 years. Like 2 years, and then filmed a bunch of it. Filmed it just every week, was filming. And it was just so hard on her because she knew some of the stuff that was happening, but she had to build up enough evidence to bring a case against this guy for abusing young girls. You know, she ended up being vindicated with her work, but she essentially betrayed the group. She did it out of the goodness of her heart, though, trying to save them and break them out of the cult. So she said eventually some of those who were hurt by her actions eventually came back and finally understood why she did what she did. So I don't know. In certain situations, I think undercover, filming in private situations is probably necessary.
Yeah. This is where the gray area of morality gets quite sticky. You and I were talking about this yesterday in our in a huddle, and I was talking about how my strategy. So I feel like if everything that I have said in private ever came out, I'm sure there's like plenty of source material there that somebody could use to cancel me,
Oh,
and
sure.
I'm like,
yeah, definitely to cancel. Maybe not to get a criminal conviction, but yeah, certainly to cancel, right?
Borderline. Yeah, I'm kind of a borderline guy in a lot of things, but I try to be open about it too. So my strategy is like, I want to pre-dox myself. I'm like, I don't ever want to present myself as some perfect guy. I'm like, okay, I've got some ideas. I think that they've helped me. They've helped some other people. Try it out. Like see if it works for you. I don't want to be the like, you should be exactly like me and don't question me like that. I don't ever want to be that dude. So in fact, I'm going to go a step further and go, so George Clooney, they asked him, they said, hey, will you ever run for president? And he said, I can't remember what he said, but I think he said, I would run under the, yes, I did it, theory. And I thought that's perfect. I think I want to adopt that because it's like, did you do those drugs? Yep. Did it. Did you, did you date too many women? Yep. Yeah,
Clinton did the opposite. He ran on the no, I didn't platform.
Yeah, that's right. I did not have. Yeah, that's right. We should do a pod just about that video of him because there's all sorts of body language stuff you can see. Yeah,
I was pretty young when that came out. That'd be fascinating to watch. So
I was in the military when that came out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the additional stuff that I brought, this is the book I bought many years ago, How to Quit Church Without Quitting God.
Ooh, great title.
And I read this in my 20s, and just thumbing through it, I was like, it'd probably be fun to read this again. The guy has a good sense of humor. In the 6th chapter, or reason number 6, this is the longest chapter. And it's titled "The Christian Religion Fits Its Own Definition of a Cult." And what's hilarious is he pulls the definitions, or all the 19 traits of a cult from a Christian author who published a book called Larson's New Book of Cults. And then so he takes each point and then he measures Christianity against it. And
I dig it.
And it's pretty funny. I thought it was funny. It's probably very sacrilegious and offensive, but oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. The point, though, is these 19 different things. So he says, 1, absolute loyalty. Allegiance to the sect is demanded and enforced by actual or veiled threats to one's body or eternal spiritual condition. And the church obviously has been using the threat of eternal conscious torment for many years.
Oh yeah,
we talked about that in the last episode.
Yes, sir.
Number 2 is altered diet. Depriving one of essential nutrients and enforcing a low protein diet can lead to disorientation and emotional susceptibility. Keep in mind, these are from the Christian author's book, Larson's New Book of Cults. So these little traits are not things that Martin Zinder wrote. He didn't write these. He's
like,
quoting.
I'm going to use your tools.
Yeah, he's quoting them.
Wow.
3 is chanting and meditation. Objective intellectual input is avoided by countering anti-cult questions with repetitious songs and chants.
We don't have a chant in Simpleology. We need
to. Maybe we should.
Well, we do have Keep It Simpleology. We have Keep It.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's
Keep It Simpleology.
I'm still pretty cool with that. I like that. That's my mantra throughout the day. Simple.
Yeah. Keep it Simpleology. 4 is conformity. Dress, language, names, and interests take on a sameness that erodes individuality. And if you want to comment on any of these, feel free at any moment.
Well, I was going to ask you to shave your head. So,
well, hey, for 20 years, I did a number 1, a no guard.
Oh, right on. Okay. So this isn't a big leap for you.
No, not a big leap. Or actually it was the guard. It was the 1, but the shortest one. So,
the shortest one.
Yeah.
It makes, I'll tell you what, it makes getting ready in the day a lot easier.
It does. Yeah. 5 is doctrinal confusion. Incomprehensible truths are more readily accepted when presented in a complex fashion that encourages rejection of logical thought.
Okay, we're kind of the opposite of that, because I'm kind of like, you determine for yourself whether or not this is true, and we're going to make it simple and logical and easy for you to understand. We want you to understand it, and we don't want to overwhelm you. So I think we're good on that one. Yeah.
6 is exclusivity. Those outside the cults are viewed as spiritually inferior, creating an exclusive and self-righteous we versus they attitude. So you kind of covered that a little bit on the us versus them, right?
Yeah.
COVID kind of did that. It made it almost like a religious thing, right?
Yeah.
You're either in or you're out.
Yeah. They did. Do we do that? Do we go hunt people down and it's like, hey, you didn't start my day today?
Not yet.
We need to talk about that, brother.
In the next release.
Yeah, in the next release. Okay, yeah, hey, as the inventor of the tracking pixel, I think we need to iterate up this technology so it will hunt you down and make sure you're productive. Thinking.
We see you on social media. We see what you're doing.
That's right. So you had enough time to post about politics today, but you didn't hit your daily targets.
Yeah.
We're gonna have people go comment on that. Shame on you.
And then we'll withdraw our affection. And then
that's right. Outstanding. Let's do it.
7 is financial involvement. All or part of one's personal assets may be donated to the cult, increasing a vested interest in sticking with it and lessening the chance of returning to a former vocation.
We don't do that until at the end of Simpleology 203, where we tell them to transfer all of their assets into a trust for us, right? So
I haven't gotten there yet. Luckily,
I didn't tell you. Okay. No, we don't do that, people. Okay, seriously, yeah.
That does happen in cults, like pushing for large donations or donation of assets, large assets, like houses, cars, things like that.
Dude, so when I lived in South Korea, when I was there in the U.S. Army, spying on the North Koreans, there was a real legit doomsday cult, and the newspapers were all talking about it. And what this dude did was he said, hey, the end of the world is on this specific date.
Oh, yeah.
Transfer all your stuff because we need to let more people know. And with your assets, we will be able to let more people know about the reality because they need to get right with God before this happens. Now, I remember there were news crews camped out at this guy's penthouse on the big day.
Oh, yeah.
And there were a lot of pissed off South Koreans. And I gotta tell you, yeah. And you don't want to piss those guys off, man. I love the South Koreans, man. And they are passionate. What I will say is don't get on their wrong side, man, because that passion, like
Comes out.
they're kind of famous for that. They were famous for it in the Vietnam War. There's a little bit of history.
Interesting.
Oh, dude, there's some movies about that, by the way, that are fascinating. It's a little dark part of history. If you don't want to get into something super dark, look, they were a little mad because they felt like, why do we have to go get involved in this war?
Mm.
And they are some fierce warriors, dude. So
Interesting.
that fierce warrior came out at the end of that the Doomsday Cult day when it didn't happen.
Yeah, when they found out they'd been duped and they'd lost a lot of their wealth.
Can't blame them.
I'd be angry too.
Me too.
8 is hypnotic states. Inducing a highly susceptible state of mind may be accomplished by chanting, repetitious singing, or meditation. I assume that's hypnotic, probably like group hypnotic states or hypnotic states in a group environment, not so much as an individual.
Yeah. Where do you, so it's interesting. There is a legit place for that in education, right? Drilling things. In fact, we do that in Simpleology. We tell people, hey, try to expose yourself to the ideas in different ways, like read the virtuosity book, read it out loud, right? Watch the videos, listen to the audios, because there is something about, there's a legit didactic, I suppose, technique where I think it's multimodal learning, where you expose people in various forms of media. You have them write, you have them speak, you have them listen, you have them see, you have them read, and it deepens the neural connections.
Yeah, and I think that's just good teaching and good learning, right? It's a good teaching methodology, and the student learns better that way, right? As I'm thinking about these hypnotic states, I have a memory of going to Amway events. When I was 18 to 21, I was in Amway for a period of time. And, you drive these ridiculous drives to get to these huge events, rah, 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 get everybody fired up. But something else they would do, and at least in the leg I was in, Dexter Yeager would speak last, but he would often start speaking at like midnight. And so then he would just go until like 2 a.m. And you've got all these people who are just like, just so tired and trying to stay awake, right? But when you're in that state, I think you are more susceptible, right? You've got the group there, everybody's listening. You're thinking, why don't I go to bed? Well, I can't go to bed. I got to listen to this guy. He's wealthy. I want to be like him. And I don't know. I actually wrote a whole letter about why I believed Amway was a cult.
Oh, right on. I would love to read that.
Back when I left.
Back when you left.
Yeah, I was like, why am I doing this? Anyway, yeah.
You ever heard of the term LGAT, L-G-A-T?
I think so. What does that stand for?
Large Group Awareness Training.
Oh.
And I've had positive and negative experiences with that. Like, so like one could say that a Tony Robbins seminar is LGAT, right? I don't know. Does he cross some lines there? I would let anybody, judge that. But I had a wonderful experience. I went to his UPW thing. And I've been to some other things like that I thought were very useful, but some of them kind of crossed some culty lines.
Yeah.
And they will do what you're talking about, right? Like they kind of make people tired.
Yeah.
And they get you sitting there. So Est, back in the day in the 1960s, you couldn't go to the bathroom. Like they did all kinds of stuff to enhance that experience. And apparently it amplifies the mind control effect a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 9, this covers one that you talked about: isolation from outside. Diminished perception of reality results when one is physically separated from friends, society, and the rational frame of reference in which one has previously functioned. That's pretty common to encourage people to cut off family ties or any negative voices that are offering a contrary point of view. In Amway, they called them dream stealers, right? If somebody was trying to give you another point of view, like, hey, maybe this isn't the best thing for you. Oh, you're a dream stealer. And so now you're throwing the label back, right? It's labeling, groupthink, right? And then that all leads to isolation.
So this is one. So I kind of have mixed feelings about this, right? I've this is one where I was very much on the like, yeah, because there are people that doubted me or did, and I was like, man, like that person legitimately killed my spirit, and cutting myself off from that person was probably a good idea. And so I would kind of say that without thinking very deeply about it. And then I realized, man, you got to be really careful with that, because so if you do have somebody in your life that is, because, people often love you, but are also secretly a little bit jealous and might subtly try to undermine your confidence. And this happens with people that we really love, right? And it's not necessarily like somebody overtly sitting there going, yes, how do I destroy their dream so my self-image can be better, because I don't want to be compared to a successful version of them. I want them to be unsuccessful so I can be the one that looks like the best one. I don't think they're consciously thinking that, but that is probably a program running in a lot of people's minds. So when I talk about it, I'm like, look, man, you should probably have peace with your loved ones. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you having good friends and family who are ride or die with you. And that's not going to be an easy road. It's going to take effort. And I think it's worth that effort. Even if they've done horrible things, I think you should put every bit of effort required into healing that. What do you think, man? Do you think there are ever any times where it's like right to cut them off, or is it worth the effort?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't cut off people in my life because a business opportunity is telling me to.
Fuck that. Right?
Often the people who love you are sincerely concerned, for your well-being, and they're not trying to steal your dream. They're just trying to protect you from harm. Their motives are good, even if they might not be entirely accurate. Right. But with, obviously with family, it's better if things are going well and you can maintain those relationships. It's very hard if you have to cut anybody off. Our family is like any other family. We've got issues, but we stay connected and stay in touch and continue to communicate, despite some of the differences. And you just have to learn how to navigate some of those things as you go. There are certain circumstances where maybe, things have been done within the family where you do have to cut somebody off, but I think it's kind of a last resort, right? So if somebody's like a violent drunk, for example, and he's beat you, and it's like, okay, you're probably gonna have to cut that person out of your life or keep them at a distance for a long period of time.
Two quick things on that. So Hoosiers, my brother I think we were talking about that. My brother got me to watch that recently. I'd never seen it. And there's a whole thing about a drunk there, and that whole dynamic of like, where do you draw that line? And it does a wonderful, just, flawless, really elegant job. Yeah. So good. I have blocked people on Facebook because a line that I will draw is, if you start assailing my character publicly, I'm sorry, I'm going to hit that block button. Like I might tell you public or privately, like, hey man, that's just not cool. Okay. Disagree with me on Facebook. That's fine. But if you start, saying like assailing my character, it's like, no, dude, I'm not going to allow that. I can still have a relationship with you in private, but if you're going to do this on I will block on Facebook. And I think that those should be distinguishable things.
I have the same line. This guy wasn't somebody I knew in person, but a guy named Brian had left a comment, and my name is Ryan, no B, and he was attributing what Brian had said to me, and then started disparaging me on his own Facebook page and tagging all these people and saying that I had said something I never said. I was like, what?
Okay.
What is it? I was like, this guy's lost his mind. I'm like, okay, block.
I got a slide for that before we can. Okay, that's a specific thing. We'll get into that here in a second. Yeah.
10, lack of privacy. I won't read the underneath. That's well, I guess I can read a little bit of it. With lack of privacy, reflective critical thinking is impossible in a setting where cult members are seldom left unattended. So,
Yep.
love bombing is number 11, which you covered. 12, mega communication. I think Allison alluded to this, but long, confusing lectures can be an effective tool if the inductee is bombarded with glib rhetoric and catchphrases.
Yep.
13, new relationships. Marriage to another cult member and the destruction of past family relationships integrates one fully into the cult family.
Yeah.
So that's isolation plus. It's like cutting off the past, and now new relationships is the next step. 14, nonsensical activities, games and other activities with no apparent purpose leaves one dependent upon a group or leader to give direction and order. These are good, aren't they?
Super good.
15, Pavlovian control. Behavior modification by alternating reward and punishment leads to confusion and dependency. That's sort of like the love bombing with, retracting the affection or removing it.
Yeah.
16 is peer pressure by exploiting one's desire for acceptance. Doubts about cult practices can be overcome by offering a sense of belonging to an affirming community.
A lot of this sounds like universities these days. I gotta say, it's like, if you ever talk to kids who are going through the university, like there are a lot of videos I've seen on social where the kids are arguing with their parents and they're like, look at how dumb the older generation is and how enlightened we are.
Right.
And they just won't try to see things through the other person's lens. They have so much reinforcement for the indoctrinated view of this is what the science and the experts believe. Everybody else is a stupid dum-dum that should be shunned.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. I can see that. 17, sensory deprivation. Fatigue coupled with prolonged activity can make one vulnerable to otherwise offensive beliefs and suggestions. So that kind of ties back with the Amway events, keeping you up till 2 a.m. Sensory deprivation
lowers your judgment.
Yeah. Don't they do that too in the military? That would be sensory deprivation.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I will tell you, so in officer candidate school, which is sort of like, boot camp squared or cubed, one of the things we had to do is we had to sleep in the position of attention in the bed.
Oh,
and if they caught you like kind of, turned over in whatever position, that you could be yanked out of the bed in the middle of the night. So yeah, it was brutal. Yeah. So the first week of that was just nuts.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. Good times though.
2 more, 8, then I'm done. 18, unquestioning submission. Acceptance of cult practices is achieved by discouraging any questions or natural curiosity that may challenge what the leaders propagate.
Yes.
And then finally, 19, value rejection. As the recruit becomes more integrated into the cult, he is encouraged to denounce the values and beliefs of his former life. That probably has more of a religious context or religious cult context, but
that's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
19 points that help define a cult.
Beautiful, man. So Ryan is our resident scholar. Again, I'm a dilettante Ryan goes deeper on things than I do. And he's got like and on full display here. That's awesome. And he actually read the book. He didn't go to ChatGPT and say, please give me a 19-point summary of this so I can look more scholarly than I actually am. So speaking of that, I'm going to pull up some slides that AI generated for me. So I didn't have to think or read books. Let's see here. I am going to...
While you're pulling that up, I'll slip in a couple of short comments. Brian Toberman says, honestly, street gangs have been doing most of these things for years, and the U.S. military.
Yeah.
And then he also says, Brian also says, you're talking about the Scientologists, the Moonies, Rajne, Spurum, and the most well-known, Jim Jones.
Oh yeah. Jim Jones. I remember, you might be a little young for this, but I remember seeing that come up on the news, man.
Yeah, I think that was a little before I was aware of that stuff, but obviously I'm aware of what happened. Yeah, crazy.
Super interesting. And like that guy took people, he built this place called Jonestown, Guyana, where the cult was there. And then he had everybody. So the term drinking the Kool-Aid came from him because he laced Kool-Aid with strychnine. And before the government came in to actually rescue the cult members, he had them all drink the actual Kool-Aid. And it was a mass suicide. What a damn, like that's
The one that I was aware of was the Heaven's Gate. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Heaven's Gate happened when I was in high school, and it was a much smaller group, but I think they hung themselves or something. Anyway, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, because I guess they believed that if they killed themselves in the right moment when the mothership came, they would be raptured up into the.
Well, it was the
mothership.
comet, right? It was Hail Bop, I think.
Ah, that's right. It was, in fact, Hail Bop. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So guys, this, if you hear this stuff and you think, that all sounds like crazy conspiracy theory stuff, look at what's actually happening in the real world. So on blame and shame, there was a little bit of that going on during the recent, maybe biggest cult movement of all time. Blame and shame. If you questioned the mainstream narrative, like for example, if you thought that maybe the virus came from a lab and not from a wet market, they would not only attack your character, they would shut down your social accounts. And there are people who have accounts that are still not reinstated to this day for the mere crime of saying, where did the virus originate? Was it from a wet market or from a lab? If you even asked that question, you would be blamed and shamed and even ostracized from social media.
I'm surprised I got through all that with my socials intact. I don't know how. I have no idea how, but
grace of God or something, man. I don't know. Maybe, maybe there's somebody in the globalist control center that's okay with what I'm doing. But like, I definitely cross that line. But I always try to ask questions because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to, beat people over the head with my truth. Like, let's discuss it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way I handle most of my posts. I invite the discussion, and there's a lot of back and forth. And maybe that's why they allowed this stuff to stand, is because there were a lot of people disagreeing. Right.
Yeah. And you're a lot more polite than I am on social. I gotta say, I try to be polite, but then if somebody starts getting nasty, I'm like, all right, so we're going to play that game. Let's have fun.
Yeah. I want to, let's say I have that urge, but the reason I engage in those conversations is not to persuade the person I'm arguing with. It's to persuade the person who's watching.
Yeah.
Okay? And there are a lot of people who watch and they never hit a like button. They never comment. There's zero evidence that they're interacting with your content. And then later on, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I read that thing you posted.
Oh yeah.
That was really great. I'm like, what? I didn't even know you looked at my stuff.
Yeah. It's like, dude, would you at least have the balls to like the post? Come on. You know, I mean, yeah. But I get it. I understand. Like, it's like, hey, I know a lot of people who have some very strong feelings and they're concerned for their jobs, for their position in society. They're like, I don't want to say this.
Sure.
Yeah. So I got two more here real quick. So the gaslighting thing, deny what happened, question their memory, make them doubt reality.
That's a good one. I don't even know. We talk about gaslighting a lot more now over the last, 10 years. But when this book was published, was gaslighting a term at that? I don't even know when that term came into common use, but.
So that term originates to a movie, if I have the etymological story correct, but I believe the genesis of it was a film called Gaslight.
Oh, okay.
And there was a guy who was trying to make a woman go crazy.
Okay.
and it shows the techniques he used, and so it became an actual part of the psychological literature. It's, you know, and it was sort of like the same way the NLP guys deconstructed Milton Erickson. People have deconstructed the techniques of making one doubt their own reality.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like 1940. The film from like
Sounds about right. By the way, quick side note, you guys ever want to see some gaslighting? There was a fantastic Patrick Bet David, whatever you think of that guy. He had Dave Smith, and Chris Cuomo from CNN on, and Dave Smith was holding Chris Cuomo to task about stuff he said during COVID. And Chris Cuomo was straight gaslighting Dave Smith, if you ask my humble opinion.
I'm sure he was. I never said that. I never said that.
I know. Yeah. And then they're like, put up the clip. And he's not even accepting that the clip is there. Right.
Dude, this literally just happened with the sports stuff. But Sophie Cunningham, she got flagrant foul from a black player. The black player got ejected after review. And then the black player went on X or whatever and said white privilege and accused Sophie Cunningham of white privilege. And anyway, I think it was the coach or somebody had to get up there anyway and give some PR thing. And she's like, well, I didn't see it in real time. And anybody else who says something, like, you know, go to hell. And then and they're like, okay, roll the tape. And then she's literally right there on the sideline watching the foul happen, and then walks by Sophie Cunningham. You're like, so she's just gaslighting everybody, saying she didn't see it in real time when she was right there.
Yeah, that's not cool, man. And it's like, you know, the thing is so there's a very interesting history of, so, you know, I have watched the civil rights movement through different eras, and a lot of it is based in like legit things, right? So I remember, people who are gay sort of congregated in the Sausalito, I think it was Sausalito, and then they migrated down to San Francisco. And there was like a legitimate civil rights issue going on at the time where, you know, people who were gay would be treated a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I remember meeting people that were gay, and I would reflexively call guys fags or whatever, right? And then I met this dude who was a friend of my sister's, who I just really admired, and then he told me he was gay, and I was kind of like, well, what's going on there? Like, I don't dislike this guy at all. Like, I actually like this guy a lot. And he was explaining to me like how the way he showed up, like he would be marginalized for you know, the way he was. And I was like, okay, I totally see that. But now what's happened is I believe that some of the legitimate civil rights issues for people that are of a certain race or whatever, you know, have been hijacked by people. And now it's gone too far. And then there are people who are using it now as a way to excuse bad behavior. And I'm like, look, bad behavior is bad behavior. You know, like, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care what the immutable traits of you are on the outside. I don't care what you do with your private parts. I really don't care. But like, if you do something unfair to people, that should be judged on its own merits,
right,
by itself. And it's very strange what's going on in respect to that now. We're kind of being gaslit a little bit.
Yeah.
The last one here is the loaded language. Just trust. Mm-hmm. Just trust I won't say the word. I think everybody can fill in that blank.
Right.
If an attack on Dr. Anthony Fauci is an attack on science itself. I think that's an almost word for word quote. Doubt is weakness.
Yeah.
That's the old you.
War is peace.
War is peace. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thought stopping cliches.
Yeah.
That is such a really interesting idea. And I remember talking to a guy, a very well-educated guy who is very into the neo-Marxist stuff. He won't admit that that's what it is, but when I was talking to him about COVID, he was like, I think it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated. He was parroting those things, right? It's like, yeah, natural immunity is not enough. The vaccines are proven safe and effective.
Right.
And it was like, can we unpack those words a little bit? But those cliches are thought stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We have, well, I don't know if we can go just a little bit longer. I figured Kurt Summers asked a question. Thought maybe we could slip this in. You cool with that?
Go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. He says, where is the line between ethical persuasion that helps someone make a decision and psychological influence that undermines their independent judgment? How can we tell what the warning signs are that tell us we've crossed it?
I think pay attention. I'm curious what your thoughts are in this, but the way I try to do this in myself is if I see myself regurgitating something reflexively, like if I see myself just repeating something without pausing and thinking, like, is that true? Or if I see myself having an emotional reaction, I'm like, okay, what is that emotional reaction? Is that coming from me experiencing cognitive dissonance in the moment? Is it coming from a real position of a moral reaction to something that is genuinely, immoral and bad? Where is that coming from? And I found that often I will start to reflexively say something and be like, hey, wait a minute. I think I'm kind of in a cult right now on this particular topic. Let me unpack. So you know what Charlie Munger, he said, you shouldn't state an opinion. And I don't know how far I would go with this, but you shouldn't really state an opinion on something until you can articulate the other person's side as well as or better than they can.
Yeah.
I think that's a great measuring stick.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I enjoy studying another person's perspective.
Hell yeah.
So they understand the flaws in their thinking or whatever. I mean, there's a possibility that you study somebody else's position and you're like, oh, wait, and that's happened to me, right?
I was wrong.
I was wrong. I didn't realize it, but now I realize it. So yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah.
The line between ethical persuasion that helps someone make a decision and psychological influence that undermines their independent judgment. For me, I think about intent, right? Like if you are doing something specifically to manipulate another person, like if you're giving a gift specifically because you're going to hit them with the request, like right away, to me, that's manipulation, right? That's abusing the law of reciprocity. I don't have a problem with understanding how reciprocity works and just being generous, knowing that at some point that might come back to me, but also kind of like not really having the expectation that they have to give back. Right? Because then that wouldn't be true generosity. That's a gift with strings attached. So I think some of it comes down to your motivation, like how you're, right? Because you can use reciprocity in a good, healthy way, but you can also use it in a very manipulative way, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a dark example of this. A dark example. One of our friends from years ago, we found out after a couple of years that she had been abused by her stepfather. And her stepfather was a horse trainer.
Okay.
He married, by the way, not to say all horse trainers are like this, but pedophiles tend to go into careers where they have a lot of alone time with young children. Horse trainers, one of them. Okay. So he married he married this woman, she was a young woman at the time, married the mother specifically to get to the daughter. Somebody even warned her before she married him that this guy is coming after your daughter. Okay, but one of the things that you'll see is they will give really large, generous gifts. Like he bought her a brand new car, like when she turned 16, right? and there were other very large, out of the ordinary gifts that were given. Well, the reason for those is because of the law of reciprocity. Now I owe him something. What do I owe him? And I can't say anything about this because I got all this value. I got this car. I got this, you know, right? So it also has a tendency to silence victims. So that's a dark example of reciprocity in action. It's fairly common in grooming situations.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, to go back to what you're saying about the intent measuring stick, I think it's a super good one. There are times when people might have good intentions. Like there are probably a lot of people who are like a member of a cult and who believe like, hey, this person is not going to be saved, you know, so I feel like I can do whatever and it's okay. Like, I won't name any specific cults, but there are some out there who have a fair game policy where anybody who is, and anybody who knows this will be able to know the cult that I'm talking about. They say anybody who's against the cult, whatever you do against them, it's fair game because we're on the side of saving, you know, the universe. Right?
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's like a frame. They create a frame where anything's justified.
That's right. The intentions are good though. The intentions are good. Yeah.
Guess that doesn't always work.
Yeah, but it is a great measuring stick, I think, a lot of the time. So yeah, fascinating. But let's see, you got any other good ones there?
Jim Jones killed over 900 people versus 39 for Heaven's Gate. Thank you for that. Yeah, Jim Jones was much, much larger. That's true. Brian Joberman. Dale Donnell says, I saw a cartoon thing on Facebook. Would you rather have $30 million or 30 million truly loyal friends?
I think I would definitely have do I need 30 million truly loyal friends?
That's a lot of friends.
I don't know if you can have 30 million truly loyal friends. I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know. But I would tend to think that you could leverage those 30 million truly loyal friends to a lot more than $30 million. Yeah.
Buy my $5 report and now you have $150 million.
That's right. Michael Zimmerman here on Facebook wrote, a rep from CA was shot down with his staff who came to take people who wanted to leave Jonestown. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah, that's a pretty well documented thing. Yeah, they had snipers guarding the whole thing, and one of the snipers shot Jim Jones at the end.
Wow, that's crazy.
Let's see, this user called The Bible Is Not AI wrote, charismatic Christian churches use the group trance with their music. My opinion is that is not Christianity.
There can be a lot of repetition in Christian music.
Yeah.
Go drag out. Debatable on whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. That's a whole interesting one. Yeah, because music, I'll tell you, music can be very, very mind programming.
Yeah, it can be 100%.
And I think there's a lot of negative mind programming that has been, this is where people go, okay, now you've gone off the rails. I think people have inserted some not so wholesome messages in popular music on purpose. I think that's a real thing.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Although that'll probably have to wait for another call.
Yeah.
Another
Maybe
live.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Let's make a point of that, dude. Because I know there's a lot. I posted that I think maybe "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift is kind of like self-destruction programming disguised as female empowerment. Let's do something on popular music, because I think there was a lot of pushback on that, and I was like, I think you maybe don't know some of the documented cases of this. So I think we should make a point of that. What do you think? You down?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right. This is a beautiful point to segue out. I really enjoyed this. I love this topic. Guys, let us know. Send an email to support@simpleology.com if you like these topics. If you guys are not yet Simpleology members, you need to join our cult immediately. And there's a little link down there at the bottom where you can do a 7-day free trial of Simpleology business class. Or if you want to try a lighter version, you can just go to simpleology.com and take a little quiz that will give you some insight on what is blocking your productivity. And we'll show you how Simpleology maybe can help you with that if you would like to join our cult and see if that works out for you. So with that, we'll wish everyone a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And we will see you guys on the next Hangout. Take care, folks.
See you guys.
Boom.